The camera strap is cutting into his neck as Times Square squeezes tighter around him. Above him, the neon burns so bright it feels less like light and more like pressure. And the danger is not only the crowd surge pressing against his ribs, it is the small, ugly moment when a decent person starts thinking, I have to shove someone else just to breathe. Most people imagine they lose control in private. In a bedroom. In a car. In some quiet hour when nobody sees the weakness arrive. But sometimes the test comes under a million lights, beside strangers wearing paper hats, with the countdown still minutes away and your lungs asking for more room than the crowd will give. He is a tourist. He came for a memory. A photo. A story to bring home. Now his fingers are twisted around the camera strap like it is the last honest thing he owns, and the question rises before the ball ever drops. Who are you when panic gives you permission to become cruel? This is where samurai discipline begins, not by escaping the chaos, but by learning how to stand inside it without letting fear take command. At first, he thinks the crowd is still a crowd. Something loud, something exciting, something he chose. People pressed shoulder to shoulder behind barricades. A woman laughing too hard into her phone. A kid sitting on someone's shoulders with a plastic horn in his mouth. A group from Ohio chanting the last hour of the year like they are trying to push time forward with their voices. The tourist lifts his camera once, maybe twice. He wants the shot everyone wants, the billboards stacked over the street, the giant screens bleeding color across thousands of faces, the cold breath coming out of people like steam. The camera strap hangs loose across his chest, harmless, ordinary, part of the memory he came to collect. Then the movement changes. It does not become violent all at once. That is what people misunderstand about social chaos. It usually begins with a small shift that nobody owns. One person steps back because somebody stepped forward. A shoulder turns. A bag catches on a coat. Someone loses balance and grabs the nearest sleeve. Then a ripple travels through the crowd faster than language. His ribs feel it before his mind names it. The space in front of him shrinks. The space behind him disappears. His camera bumps against his sternum. The strap twists near his throat. He tries to inhale, but the breath comes short, shallow, unfinished. Around him, people are still shouting, still filming, still laughing, because from the outside Times Square looks like a celebration. From inside his body, it has become a test. And the first thought is not noble. Move. Get them off me. Push. He feels it in his right hand before he admits it in his mind. His palm opens against the back of the stranger in front of him, not yet a shove, but ready to become one. The man has a blue beanie and a puffy black jacket. He might be scared too. He might be trying to breathe too. But in that compressed second, fear erases biography. The stranger stops being a person and becomes an obstacle. That is the quiet corruption of a crowd. Not because the people in it are bad. Most of them are not. They came to watch a ball drop, kiss somebody at midnight, take a video, feel part of something bigger than their own apartment, their own job, their own private fatigue. But when bodies get packed too tightly and noise becomes too large, the mind starts reducing other human beings into shapes: shoulder, elbow, backpack, space thief. The tourist can feel that reduction happening inside him. His jaw tightens. His eyes stop looking at faces and start looking for gaps. The neon lights keep flashing red, white, electric blue, turning everyone into a series of hard edges. A police whistle cuts through the music somewhere far away, but it does not organize anything near him. A woman behind him says, "I can't move," and he hates how quickly that sentence irritates him instead of waking compassion. Because panic is selfish before it is honest. It says, your breath matters more than their balance. It says, your fear gives you permission. It says, nobody will know who started it. That is the shadow in him now, shoving others to get space. Not as a plan. Not as a personality. As an impulse. As a small internal collapse wearing the mask of survival. He is not proud of it. A few minutes earlier, he had been texting his brother a blurry picture of the lights with the message, "You should have come." He had imagined telling the story later with a grin, making the night sound wild and beautiful. He had pictured himself as the kind of person who could handle New York on New Year's Eve. Easy. Fun. A little crowded, sure, but worth it. Now he is thinking about driving his forearm into somebody's side. That is what pressure reveals. Not who you claim to be when the street is open and the air is clean, but what takes over when the body feels cornered. Fudoshin does not ask him to pretend he is calm. That would be fake, and fake calm breaks fast. His breathing is rough. His skin is hot under his jacket. His neck stings where the camera strap has tightened. His mind is throwing commands at him in fragments. Get out, move, push, now. The discipline is not the absence of those commands. The discipline is whether he obeys them. In social chaos, the crowd tries to lend you its nervous system. If the people around you surge, your chest surges. If they shout, your pulse borrows the volume. If someone curses, your own anger finds a script. The danger is not only physical compression. It is emotional infection. 1,000 untrained reactions trying to become one large animal. And once you let that animal speak for you, it is easy to justify anything. He almost does. The man in the blue beanie stumbles backward half an inch. The tourist's hand presses harder. Not a full shove. Not yet. Just enough pressure to create a little room near his ribs. Just enough to prove how fast the line moves when fear starts negotiating with dignity. Then the man turns his head. Only for a second. Their eyes meet. That is the first crack in the trance. The man is not angry. That almost makes it worse. He looks startled, strained, breathing through his mouth, cheeks flushed from cold and pressure. He is somebody's son, somebody's coworker, maybe somebody's father. He has a Times Square souvenir button pinned crookedly to his jacket. It is such a small, stupid human detail that the tourist cannot keep pretending he is pushing against an object. The camera strap pulls again across his neck, and this time he notices it differently. A minute ago, it was just something choking him. Now it becomes evidence. He came here to capture a moment, but the moment is capturing him. He wanted proof that he had stood in the middle of the Great American Countdown. What he is getting instead is proof of a harder question. Can he remain human when the room to be human gets smaller? The crowd keeps moving. The neon keeps striking his eyes. The countdown screens flash ads and numbers and celebrity faces too large for the street below. Nothing outside him has become peaceful. No gentle music arrives. No wise voice speaks from above the billboards. The pressure is still real. But the confrontation has shifted. The enemy is not the crowd. The enemy is the part of him that wants to become careless because the crowd is careless. The part that wants to disappear into the mass and say, everyone was pushing, so I pushed too. The part that would rather be anonymous than accountable. Samurai discipline, in this modern world, begins in exactly that ugly second. Not in a temple. Not on a battlefield from another century. Here, in Times Square, under blinding neon lights, with a camera strap biting into the neck of a tourist who suddenly understands that panic can make cruelty feel practical. A disciplined person still feels the surge. He still wants room. He still has a body asking for air. But he does not let the crowd choose his character for him. Training begins before he feels calm. It begins while the camera strap is still biting his neck, while his lungs still want more air, while his right hand is still half ready to shove the man in the blue beanie. He does not become peaceful. He becomes precise. The first act is almost invisible. He opens his hand. That is all. His palm had been pressing into another person's back, trying to purchase one more inch of space with somebody else's balance. Now his fingers spread. The pressure leaves his wrist before it leaves his mind. He does not apologize yet. There is no room for a speech, no clean moral moment with soft lighting and a lesson wrapped around it. There is just a hand that was about to become force, and a man who makes it stop. That small release matters. In a crowd, the first shove is not only a movement. It is an invitation. One body panics, then another body answers. One elbow claims territory, then 5 people behind it begin to fight for their own. Social chaos multiplies whatever you donate to it. If you donate fear, fear comes back larger. If you donate restraint, maybe it only saves 1 second. But sometimes 1 second is the only doorway discipline needs. His next breath is rough. It catches high in his chest. He wants to gulp air, but gulping makes the panic louder. So he does something smaller. He lowers his chin slightly and exhales first. Not dramatically. Not like a monk. Like a man trying not to lose command in public. The exhale leaves through tight lips, slow enough that his shoulders drop half an inch. Then he lets the next breath enter without chasing it. There is still pressure against his ribs. The crowd has not opened. But the body hears the signal, we are not attacking yet. That word matters too. Yet. The mind does not believe fake certainty. If he tells himself, I am fine, some honest part of him will know he is lying. He is not fine. He is compressed in Times Square on New Year's Eve with blinding neon above him and strangers pressing from every direction. So he does not demand serenity from himself. He gives himself a command the body can obey. Exhale first. Then look. His eyes had been searching for gaps like an animal searching for escape. Now he forces them to do a harder job. He looks at faces again. The man in the blue beanie. The woman behind him who said she could not move. A teenager holding a phone over his head with both hands, elbows pinned awkwardly. A police officer near the barricade, far enough away to feel useless, close enough to become a reference point. Faces return the world to scale. When fear turns people into obstacles, looking is a form of discipline. Not staring. Not pleading. Just seeing enough humanity to interrupt the lie that your panic is the only panic in the street. The camera swings against his chest again. The strap tightens as someone behind him shifts. He wants to yank it over his head, but there is no room, and a sudden movement might scare the people around him. So he does the next right thing, not the perfect thing. He slides 2 fingers under the strap near his collarbone and pulls it flat. The nylon edge stops sawing into the side of his neck. The camera settles closer to his sternum instead of bouncing loose. It is still heavy. It is still in the way. But it is no longer a wild object dragging at his throat. The anchor changes. A minute ago, the strap felt like a leash held by the crowd. Now it becomes something he can touch to remember where his body ends and his choices begin. His thumb presses against the woven fabric. One point of contact. One command. Stay here. He cannot solve Times Square. He cannot control the countdown, the tourists, the barricades, the sudden waves of movement, the giant screens throwing light into everyone's eyes. He cannot make thousands of people more aware by wishing it. That is too big. Too vague. Too much for a crowded nervous system. So he shrinks the battle. Do not shove. Keep your feet. Make 1 inch without stealing it. His knees soften. Not enough to squat, not enough to collapse. Just enough that the next surge does not knock him stiff-legged into somebody else. He turns one shoulder slightly instead of driving both arms forward. The movement gives his ribs a narrow angle to breathe, a diagonal pocket of space that does not require another person to fall. His left hand stays on the camera strap. His right hand hovers open near his chest, palm visible, not clenched. The crowd presses again. He feels the old command rise. Push. This time he answers it with a sentence under his breath. Easy. Easy. It is not for the crowd. The crowd cannot hear him. It is for the animal inside his own body that thinks force is the only language left. The word gives his nervous system a rhythm. Easy does not mean weak. Easy means no sudden harm. Easy means do not add violence to confusion. Easy means your fear can speak, but it does not get to use your hands. Someone bumps his shoulder. Hard. For half a second, anger flashes clean and hot. He turns his head, ready to bark something, ready to locate a villain. But all he sees is a young woman with a silver New Year's crown bent crooked on her head, eyes wide, one hand clamped around her friend's sleeve. She did not attack him. She got carried. That is the humiliation of panic. It always wants a target. If it can name someone to blame, it does not have to feel helpless. If it can turn discomfort into anger, it can pretend anger is control. But anger in a tight crowd is gasoline. It makes the body larger than the space allows. So he makes himself smaller in the right way. Not invisible. Not submissive. Controlled. He tucks his elbows in. He keeps the camera close. He stops filming. That choice stings more than he expects. Part of him still wants proof. The lights, the countdown, the impossible crush of bodies beneath the billboards, he wants to capture it, to make the discomfort worth something. But holding the camera up would widen his arms and steal space from the people beside him. The memory he came for is no longer the highest duty. The higher duty is not becoming dangerous. He lowers the camera fully against his chest and lets the strap hold its weight. His palm covers it like a seal. There will be no perfect video. No clean shot of the ball through the forest of phones. No proof that he stood in exactly the right place when the year turned. Good. Some moments are not asking to be captured. They are asking to be survived with character intact. The surge rolls again, less sharp this time, more like a wave trying to decide where to go. He uses the same ritual. Exhale first. Eyes on faces. 2 fingers under the strap. Knees soft. Shoulder angled. Hands open. No shove. Again. 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 A ritual is not magic. It does not remove pressure. It gives pressure a path that does not pass through cruelty. When the woman behind him says, "I can't move," he does not snap at her. He turns his head just enough to answer without twisting his whole body into the crowd. "I know. Don't push. Breathe out." It is not heroic. It is barely helpful. But the sentence does one thing. It prevents his fear from becoming the only voice he contributes to the street. He cannot rescue the crowd. He can refuse to infect it. He looks toward the barricade again, marking the officer's position, the direction of the nearest visible opening, the slow drift of bodies. If the pressure becomes unsafe, discipline will not mean standing there out of pride. It will mean moving when movement is possible, signaling when help is needed, following the flow instead of fighting it like a man trying to prove toughness to strangers. Samurai discipline is not stubbornness dressed up as strength. It is command under pressure. So he waits for the next small opening. Not a gap big enough for escape. Just enough to adjust. When the people in front shift left, he does not lunge. He steps half a foot with them. Then another. His hand stays on the strap. His breath stays longer than his fear wants it to be. He gives the man in the blue beanie room to recover his balance. The countdown keeps moving. The lights keep burning. But inside the crush, the tourist is training in the only place training ever becomes real, the exact second when the easier thing would be to abandon who you are. The countdown is close now. You can feel it before you hear the number. The crowd begins to gather itself into one huge breath, one huge throat, one bright animal under the billboards. Phones rise higher. Elbows lift. People who were tired 5 minutes ago suddenly remember why they came. The neon keeps hammering the street until every face looks overexposed, washed in blue, red, silver, white. Nothing about Times Square has become gentle. The tourist is still pinned between strangers. His ribs still have to negotiate with the bodies around him. The man in the blue beanie is still in front of him, close enough that the tourist can see melted snow darkening the seam of his jacket collar. Behind him, the woman who said she couldn't move is breathing in small uneven pulls. The old impulse has not vanished. That matters. A dishonest story would make him calm now. It would turn one controlled breath into enlightenment. It would give him a clean inner victory while the crowd parted like he had earned some private miracle. That is not what happens. He still wants room. He still wants out. His throat is dry. His neck still remembers the bite of the camera strap. When another wave moves through the crowd, his right hand twitches again, almost reaching for the nearest shoulder. The body has a memory of panic, and it does not disappear just because a man made one better choice. But now there is a delay. A thin one. A half second of command. His hand rises, then stops near his own chest. His fingers find the strap instead of another person's jacket. He presses the camera against his sternum and feels the nylon flat under his thumb. Earlier, the strap was choking him. Then it became a handle. Now it becomes a boundary. Here is my body. Here is my fear. Here is where my fear ends before it becomes harm. The crowd surges left. He moves with it, not against it. His knees stay loose. He keeps his shoulders narrow. He does not try to win space from the people beside him. He borrows what the moment gives and returns what he does not need. The man in the blue beanie stumbles again, smaller this time. The tourist's hand lifts, but this time it does not push. It hovers behind the man's shoulder, open, ready only to steady if the fall comes back toward him. The man catches himself on the movement of the crowd and glances back. Their eyes meet again. No speech. No apology loud enough for the noise. Just a nod from the tourist, quick and awkward, almost embarrassed. The man nods back like he understands more than he wants to say. In a place packed with thousands of people, a whole moral repair happens in less than 2 seconds. The countdown begins. 10. The number explodes across the screens. The crowd answers with a roar that pushes against his skin. 9. His camera stays down. That choice is the clearest sign that something has changed. He came to Times Square to capture the moment, to bring home proof, to say he had been there when the year turned. But now the camera rests against his chest, held by the strap he has been using to stay inside himself. 8. A phone near his face blocks half the view. He almost feels irritated. Then he sees the hand holding it shake. The owner is not rude, just excited, maybe scared, maybe cold. He lets the irritation pass through without giving it a job. 7. The woman behind him says something he cannot hear. Her voice breaks under the crowd noise. He turns his head just enough. Stay with the flow, he says. Don't push. He does not know if she hears the words, but she sees his open hand. That might be enough. 6. The neon blurs. His eyes burn from the lights, from the cold, from staring too hard at a world that refuses to slow down. He wants to close them, but instead he softens his gaze. Faces, not obstacles. Shoulders, not enemies. Feet, not threats. Just people crowded into a famous street, trying to reach the next year without losing themselves in the last seconds of this one. 5. His breath shortens again. He catches it early. Exhale first. The ritual returns without drama. He can feel how training works now. It does not rescue him from the surge. It gives him a movement to make when the surge tries to own him. 4. Somewhere near the barricade, an officer lifts one arm and signals people to stop pressing forward. The instruction arrives late and partial, swallowed by noise, but the tourist follows what he can see. He shifts half a step back when the bodies behind him allow it. He angles his shoulder. He gives the man in the blue beanie a fraction more space near his elbow. 3. That fraction is not much. It will not make the news. No one will post it. No one will call it noble. But in social chaos, dignity often returns in measurements too small for applause. An elbow brought in. A hand unclenched. A breath lengthened. A camera lowered. A stranger not treated like a wall. 2. The ball drops, or maybe it has been dropping the whole time and he only now sees it between two raised phones, a bright shape sliding down through cold light and noise. The whole street screams. Confetti opens over Times Square and comes down in scraps of color. For a second, the pressure of the crowd becomes celebration again. 1. The year turns. People jump, hug, kiss, shout into phones. The man in the blue beanie pumps one fist in the air. The woman behind him laughs once, ragged and relieved. The tourist does not have the perfect photo. His video is nothing. The lens cap is still on, maybe. He is not even sure. But his right hand is clean of the shove it wanted to make. That is the memory now. Not the ball. Not the lights. Not the proof he can show anyone. The real memory is invisible, a crowded street, a strap under his thumb, and one frightened man refusing to let pressure turn him careless. After midnight, the crowd does not empty quickly. It loosens in sections. There are still waves, still bumps, still irritated voices from people who want to leave faster than the street will allow. The tourist is tired now in a deeper way. His patience is thinner. He still has to work for it. When someone clips his shoulder with a backpack, he almost snaps. Almost. Then his thumb finds the strap again. He exhales through his nose, looks for the next safe step, and moves without stealing space. That is the transformation. Not becoming untouchable. Not becoming fearless. Just becoming less available to the worst part of himself when the worst part asks for control. Under the blinding neon, with confetti stuck to his sleeve and the new year already beginning, he understands something he will not be able to explain cleanly when he gets home. The crowd did not choose his character. He did. Most people will never stand in Times Square on New Year's Eve with a camera strap cutting into their neck. But almost everyone knows the smaller version of that crowd. A packed subway platform after work. A grocery store line when you are already late. A kitchen argument where the room feels too tight and one sentence could become a shove in another form. Your battlefield may not have blinding neon lights. It may have fluorescent bulbs, dirty dishes, a phone buzzing on the counter, someone breathing too loudly when you are already at your limit. That is where the lesson returns. When pressure crowds your body, it will ask for permission to crowd your character. It will tell you that fear is an excuse, that irritation is a right, that other people become obstacles when you feel trapped. Do not wait to feel noble. Find the strap. Find the small physical point that brings you back, your hand on the table, your feet on the floor, your breath leaving first. Then choose one action that does not make the chaos worse. If this story stayed with you, carry it quietly into the next crowded moment. Subscribe if you want more reflections on discipline without noise, strength without cruelty, and command without performance. A disciplined person is not someone who never feels fear. It is someone who refuses to let fear take command.